welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlotte and this is Charlotte Shelves. I am so delighted to share with you today a book haul video. These are the books that I was very kindly and generously gifted this Christmas, but I also wanted to share with you some of the literary themed gifts. I love watching people's Christmas hauls and seeing the books and the things that they got for Christmas, and I also think they're such a great way to get gift ideas for the bookish friends in your life, because if you're a book lover like me, the chances are you also have quite a few bookish friends too, and they always give me good gifting suggestions. So I thought for your friends' upcoming birthdays or even next Christmas, this video might be fun for you too. If you haven't already, please do like, comment and subscribe. It's a free and super easy way that you can support my channel, and let me know in the comments what kind of videos you would like for me to make in 2026. I have divided the haul into sections, so I'm going to show you the literary themed presents, then the book haul that I just wanted to share with you as well. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to share with you is this Edgar Allan Poe sticker jigsaw book, and I love these. I was given the Jane Austen version of this last year, and it is what it says on the tin. It's sticker puzzles related to Edgar Allan Poe, and then it also tells you sort of a mini biography of his life, and then it has the texts of his works, and you fill in these puzzles and just piece it together really. It's very easy, but it's mindful and it's fun, and it's different from doing a physical puzzle. This has different puzzles related to his longer works, but also the short stories and some of his poetry too. I also really love the artwork in this particular sticker anthology collection. It's so cool. Murders in the Rue Morgue was the first short story or detective work of his that I studied at school. I think I was about 14, 15 when we were kind of introduced to Japan, and that kind of started my lifelong love affair with Poe. Next, I have a traditional physical jigsaw. This is the World of Shakespeare, and this is a 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. I also have the Bronte version of this. This also shows kind of the Thames and where the Globe was, and there's all these little details to do with Renaissance theatre, but also throughout this puzzle, I don't know if you can see from that, it has within it lots of different characters from Shakespeare's plays scattered throughout in tiny detail, kind of like a sort of miniature Where's Wally, but of characters that you might recognise. So it shows you an example at the top here. You can see there's Bottom and there's Shakespeare himself, and you've got a very classical traditional looking Hamlet there. I really look forward to doing this. 1,000 pieces is the top end of what I'm capable of doing, but this is so lovely, and it's a really nice quality jigsaw too. The next item I got, you can't go wrong with chocolate, can you? These are little chocolate books, and it's a range of different chocolate flavours. Is that going to focus? And they're so sweet. And I don't even know if I can eat them, they're so cute. Lovingly made in Great Britain. I'm sure I saw the company on this. I was also given this really lovely coaster, which has got a watermark on it because I have been using it straight away. It's a Hamlet quote, and it says, "Though this be madness, yet there is method in it." And it looks like this, and it's got a lovely little skull on it. Is that gonna focus? My camera today. As you probably already know, this is where the sort of modern colloquialism, "there's method to my madness," that's where this quote originates from. Does it count as an idiom? My next jigsaw, because I got 3 this year, is a really gorgeous illustration from the Brothers Grimm of the Tale of Little Red Riding Hood. And it's also apparently double-sided. So one side has got the text of the short story, or part of the text, in its original form, and then this lovely illustration on the front. And this is only 100 pieces, but that's perfect for me just to do in front of my computer or something. But also I love these editions of jigsaws because they come like little books, and then you can just stack them really neatly. I was also fortunate enough to receive a couple of bookmarks this year. This one was from one of my relatives, and I think it's wood, and it says "a good book and a cozy nook," and that's really sweet. Is that gonna focus? And then I got 2 from my best friend, which is very generous, and they are both Nightmare Before Christmas bookmarks, and they are lovely. They've got kind of a raised texture to them. They feel really nice. I don't know how to explain it, I don't think you'll be able to tell, but they are of Jack and Sally. The third and final jigsaw that I received is it's a Harry Potter one, and it's the Marauders map, and it's a 300 piece jigsaw, which is perfect for me because I can get this done in a couple of days. And it's so nice, and it's got the Messrs Moody, Wormtail, Padlet and Prongs, and the sort of original map artwork, and it looks lovely. It's really, I love that. I fully intend to be starting this one today. I've been holding off until I can film this video for you, but this I can't wait to start. We have my Christmas book haul. I think I've got about 6 or 7 books here that I want to share with you. I'll try not to drop them. The first book I was given is stunning. I'm gonna talk about it probably far too much, but this is Charles Dickens' Christmas Stories. You might already be aware, Dickens wrote not just A Christmas Carol, but several other short stories around the Christmas period, including one that I really like that involves a little goblin. And this has, I think, maybe 6 or 7 of his stories collected in it. And it's just the most gorgeous hardback, like look at that. And then the gold gilt writing on the spine. Lovely, lovely. And then a very classic illustration of Ebenezer Scrooge. And then the sprayed edges, I don't know if that's quite a zig. Can you see Mr. Fezziwig? Fuzziwig? I always get his name wrong because I watch Muppets Christmas Carol without fail at least once every year, and it's Fozzie Bear who plays him in the Muppets Christmas Carol, but he's there with his wife and you can see them. Oh yeah, and Christmas Present. But it's just gorgeous. It's so lovely. And then it's got the original illustrations inside, including I think 1 or 2 by Tenniel, who also did the Alice illustrations too. And it's just a really, really beautiful copy. The next book I have is called The Daydreamer by Ian McEwan. He is one of my favourite authors. I'm sure you know that if you watched any of my videos. I had no idea that he had written a YA novel or children's kind of hybrid novel, because his other works are so, well, some of them are really bloody dark and creepy. So the idea of him writing a book for younger audiences is really, I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know if it'll be in the same tone. I don't know if it will have some of that darkness like Roald Dahl's children's tales do, but I'm very much looking forward to reading this. And yeah, it's called The Daydreamer, and I really know nothing about this. So if you've read it, do let me know what you think, because yeah, I'm going in completely blind. I hope it's good. The blurb says, 10-year-old Peter Fortune is a daydreamer. His vivid imagination takes him out of reality and into a crazy world in which anything can happen. Where else would he be able to swap bodies with the family cat, or wipe out his entire family with vanishing cream, or morph into an adult? Peter's daydreams are weird, wonderful, and full of bizarre possibilities. The next book I was given is a particularly gorgeous edition of poetry by Edgar Allan Poe. This is so goth. I love the black and gold. You know I do. But it's such a nice edition. Like, is that one the pig in focus? I need to get a new camera, guys. The bindings for this are leather. They smell incredible. And then it's also got gold gilt edges, which is so nice. It's got a lot of poems in here actually. I didn't realise how many it had. You can see the indices. That goes on for another page or so. There's quite a lot in here. I love this. I think this is a particularly wonderful edition of his works. Next, I have a fiction novel called The Hours by Michael Cunningham. I have talked about this, I think, before on my channel. This is one of my top 10 favourite books of all time, and I repurchased it because my copy got damaged and I wanted this specific edition. I'm so happy to have another copy of this book. I think it is one of the greatest works of all time. The next book I was given by my in-laws, and this had been on my radar for a while because the foreword in this book is by one of my favourite authors, which is Tracy Chevalier, and this is the Book Lover's Bucket List, a tour of great British literature, and it is a kind of a touristy guidebook, but also a very good sort of potted literary history of lots of gorgeous places that you can visit in the UK that are either the homes of famous authors or places where they wrote particular iconic works, or settings or fictitious estates where they based certain things on. So like certain Jane Austen places where this was meant to be Pemberley or Chatsworth or that sort of thing. And it's a real mixed bag of monuments and period homes and parks and gorgeous literary sites that you can visit throughout the UK. And I really loved reading this on Boxing Day because I was ticking off like mentally which ones I had already been fortunate enough to visit, and there are so many more that I want to go see. I'm really looking forward to grabbing a cup of tea in the new year and marking up which ones I want to get to and which ones might be my priority for 2026. I think this would also be the most incredible gift for a book lover because there's so many in here that there's places I've been to and didn't realise they had these literary connections. The next book I was given is a really sweet little miniature book called The Little Frog's Guide to Self-Care, and you might have seen this little guy on Instagram or doing his rounds on the, or her rounds on the internet in sort of memes and things like that. And it's got some of the artwork and really sweet drawings, and are they drawings, sketches, paintings? I'm not sure. And then alongside there's sort of gentle quotes and tips, and again, things to do with self-care and little gentle reminders how to look after yourself. This is a really lovely pocket-sized little guide, and I think after I read this, I have a friend that I would pass it on to, and I think it's lovely. I think that's so cute. The final book I have, I am very, very, very excited to read, because one of the books in this series was, I think, it was in my top 10 books of 2025. This is The Poetry Pharmacy. This is book number 1. I had read book number 2. It doesn't matter what order you read them in as such, but this is tried and true prescriptions for the heart, mind and soul. The premise of these anthologies is that Sieghart, is that how you pronounce it, Sieghart? Please tell me in the comments. He is a real pioneer of poetry, and I think he also was one of the co-founders or creators of the Forward Prize for Poetry, which is quite big here in the UK, and it kind of celebrates modern poetry. And in these sorts of anthologies, he prescribes poetry, so it's poetry pharmacy, as if he is the dispensing physician, or whatever you want to call it. People come to him with ailments or problems or certain emotional states of being, and he prescribes an individual poem to try and soothe or support that particular condition. And I think I said this in my previous video, but I just love this prescriptive use of poetry, because we so often use poetry for celebration or birthdays, or a lot of the time at funerals and things like that. Like, we turn to the form of verse when we need something. We need words of encouragement or understanding, or when we want to honor someone. And his essays that accompany each little poem that accompany each poem are just wonderful. So as much as he's chosen really gorgeous pieces, so he'll have that on one side, he then writes an accompanying essay to help with whatever the ailment is. So this says the condition is displacement, but also suitable for alienation, fear of the unknown, foreignness and otherness. So not only has he chosen a poem that helps with that, he has written why he chose it and how he thinks it helps with that particular issue. And his essays are part of the reason I love these anthologies, because he is so emotionally intelligent and insightful, and the way that he writes is so wonderful. And I love how he's picked these pairings. I'm sure some people, you know, love a good wine mixed with a good cheese, and these wonderful flavors and combinations come together. That is very much what he achieves, like some sort of culinary poetic mixing and melding that makes these just a delight to read. And I'm so delighted to have this, and I really look forward to reading this. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, did you get any books yourself this Christmas, or are there any books that you want to grab over the holidays to start reading in 2026? I am very tempted to go on a self-imposed book ban for 2026, because my TBR at the moment I think is nearly 50 just physical books, and I think I've got another 40 or so on my Kindle alone. And I'm in this bad habit of, if I don't buy a book physically, I always say to myself, I could always get it on Kindle, and then it's tucked out the way, but that's still a book, isn't it? It's still digital clutter. It's still another book on my list that I haven't read yet. So I want to be more mindful about, firstly, adding any books to my Kindle, but also working through what I need to read in 2026. So I'm thinking of going on a book buying ban. I hope you had a lovely Christmas holiday, and I just wanted to wish you a very happy 2026. Do let me know what books you're hoping to read in the next year, and if you haven't already, please do like, comment and subscribe. It would mean the world to me, and happy 2026.